He calls to deport pro-Hamas radicals, i.e., American citizens and peaceful protesters out in the streets. What makes a pro-Hamas radical? I guess somebody that's brown and is protesting against genocide. But conservatives, we love free speech unless you're out there protesting a genocide. Then you're out of here. Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up. I got to tell you, Steve, we have a lot of viewers. Most of them are leftists, but some of them are MAGA. And I've been listening to this bullshit for years. Republicans, conservatives, we're anti-censorship. We're, free speech, right? It is the biggest bunch of bullshit that I have ever heard that Republicans, I mean, to be clear, the Democratic Party doesn't care about free speech either. Look what happened in 1968 at the Democratic Convention where they crushed protests against the Vietnam War. And look at what's happened in Democratic cities when they're protesting for Black Lives Matter and many other things. None of these politicians actually care about free speech. But conservatives, particularly conservative influencers, they've been crowing and hyperventilating for years. Oh, the right's being persecuted on Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook Meta, whatever they're calling it these days, recently succumbed to Trump. We know Elon Musk is also, attached at the hip to Trump. But Mark Zuckerberg recently went down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss Trump's ring. He appointed Dana White, the UFC guy, to Meta's board, I guess, to appease Trump. Has nothing to do with the fact that currently the Federal Trade Commission has a lawsuit against Meta to try to break it up. I'm sure that has nothing to do with why they're kissing the ring of Trump. But Meta and Zuckerberg recently came out saying they've seen the light and they're removing all the censorship from Facebook, essentially to appease King Trump and his minions over at MAGA. Let's play some of Zuckerberg's statements.
But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take it.
Okay, so that might sound all dandy and wonderful, and Facebook is now suddenly going to, get rid of the policing of hate speech. Basically, when you're talking about immigration, gender, really what you're saying is, MAGA, say whatever the fuck you want. We're taking the shackles off. And generally, for better or worse, I agree with that. The internet, for better or worse, can be a bit of a cesspool. And that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. That's the price of free speech. I do believe if you're not inciting violence or, whatever, and there should be actual legitimate rules on inciting violence, then you should be able to say whatever you want. But the truth is, and we're going to get to the other concerning part, these Republicans don't actually give a fuck. These MAGA people, they don't actually care about free speech. They don't care about censorship. Are you kidding me? I mean, here's just a few. And there's more of what Zuckerberg said that we're going to get to. But here's just, best hits, okay? Elon Musk accused of censoring conservatives on X who disagree with him about immigration. This is like within the last week. So Mr. Free Speech, Elon Musk, who purportedly bought Twitter for his crusade to free Twitter from censorship. Yeah. Tech billionaire Elon Musk faced accusations of censorship Friday from fellow conservatives after several prominent right-wing accounts who had criticized Musk's views on immigration said that they subsequently lost access to premium features on Musk's social media app. I mean, that's just one case. He infamously got rid of that account that monitors his flights and stuff like that, which is just public information anyway. He has also totally rigged Twitter's algorithm to elevate his own tweets and suppress people's tweets that he doesn't like. So that's just, king of free speech, Elon Musk, and his love of censorship. Then you got your fearless leader, Trump. He calls to deport pro-Hamas radicals, i.e., American citizens and peaceful protesters out in the streets protesting against a genocide in Gaza. Trump plans to quell protests, deport pro-Hamas radicals. This was in August, by the way, of last year, but trust me, his views haven't changed. Since the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack on Israel, Donald Trump and other senior GOP leaders have repeatedly called for the Biden administration to revoke the visas of foreign nationals in the U.S. who openly support Hamas or other U.S. designated terrorist organizations. Last month, one of the 20 promises in the preamble of the platform adopted at the RNC was to deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses patriotic. Steve, what makes a pro-Hamas radical? I guess somebody that's brown and is protesting against genocide. But conservatives, we love free speech unless you're out there protesting a genocide. Then you're out of here. 3 strikes, you're out. Free speech, my ass. Then we have 72 House Republicans and 2 Democrats demand Harvard, MIT, and Penn presidents be fired. Remember this, where they were dragging the presidents of these colleges in front of Congress because they weren't hard enough on anti-Semitism. And I'm a Jew. I'm against anti-Semitism. But anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. Is not anti-Semitism. We've gone over that over and over again. And there's nothing wrong with protesting a genocide. But we want to cancel. Remember, they're all against cancel culture, but they want to cancel the presidents of these colleges. People have been outspoken that their jobs are being threatened all over the country if they post on social media against the genocide. There have been college professors, losing their speaking engagements, or in some cases losing their jobs for their stance. But conservatives are against cancel culture, right? Unless it's against genocide, then we'll cancel anyone. We'll cancel all of you. If you're against genocide in the streets, we'll deport you, Donald Trump says. And then you have, they want to ban books all over the country. The MAGA loser, Ron DeSantis, he started it down in Florida, and then they picked it up in Tennessee and Oklahoma and all the rest. Let's ban books because we're for free speech, right?
Absolute fucking trash.
We're for free speech. Oh, I forgot. So, MAGA, do you remember this one? GOP pushes bills. Sorry if I'm moving too fast, Colin. I'm just animated. GOP bills target protesters, meaning those bills that Republican legislators were pushing to allow people to run over protesters and not face criminal charges. Run over those protesters protesting against the Dakota Access Pipeline or fossil fuel pipelines or whatever protesters are out there. Hey, yeah, run them over. You get a get out of jail free card. What happened to free speech? I am so sick of this bullshit that Republicans are for free speech and against cancel culture. None of them are. Democrats aren't for free speech unless it suits their objectives and their pet projects and their donors. Republicans aren't for free speech unless it suits their objectives, their donors, their Christian fundamentalism.
Identity politics all the way, baby.
It's just absolutely a joke. And to be clear, 2 things could be true. I'm fine with Facebook decensoring. It sucks that it all of these platforms just become a cesspool, but that's just the world we live in. But don't give me this bullshit that you're against cancel culture. No. You are selectively against cancel culture. You are selectively against censorship on the right and the left. You are against censorship when it affects your tribe. If it doesn't affect your tribe, deport them all, cancel them all, fire them all. And that is the hypocrisy and the problem.